Hello everyone, I'll explain 5 technical questions from the CCNA exam. First question, a multiple choice, asking us to select 3 correct answers. The question is asking us to state the characteristics of VLANs. What are the features of VLANs? Now let's look at the first option. The first option says that if a new switch doesn't have any VLANs on it. Well, that's definitely incorrect. A new switch does have a VLAN 1, right? So option A is incorrect. Option B says that connecting VLANs requires layer 3, for example. Between VLAN 1 and VLAN 2, they are connected at layer 3, so option B is correct. Option C says that VLANs reduce the number of collision domains, but this has nothing to do with collision domains, so option C is incorrect. As for option D, it says that each VLAN uses a separate address space, and this is correct. For example, one side might use 10.1, and the other side might use 20.1. Option D is correct. Option E says that each switch for every VLAN maintains a separate table, that is, a separate bridging table for each VLAN. This option is correct. So now there are 3 correct answers, B, D, and E. As for option F, it is definitely wrong. It says that VLANs cannot span multiple switches, but between switch 1 and switch 2, you can use VLAN 10, for example, as long as you use the same VLAN, right? And here it's also VLAN 10, so that's not a problem at all. So the correct answers are B, D, and E. Let's check the correct answers. B, D. Okay, next question. The second question is a bit long. Basically, it means that hosts within the same VLAN can communicate with each other, while hosts in different VLANs cannot. So as you can see, hosts in different VLANs can't communicate, but hosts in the same VLAN can. So how do we enable communication between them? Now, for the first option, actually, the correct answer is A. Let's look at this. It says that if a router is connected to a switch, you need to configure it under the sub-interface. You configure it under the sub-interface because, for example, if I connect a router to a switch like this, this is a physical interface. On the physical interface, I created this sub-interface 1, sub-interface 2. Now, both of these interfaces are layer 3 interfaces. Layer 3 interfaces can also isolate broadcast domains. So the correct answer to this question is A. I want to check the correct answer. And it's A. Alright, question 3. The third question is about the LDP neighbor discovery protocol. Let's look at this question. It asks, regarding the LLDP protocol, which of the following statements is correct? Now, the first one, the very first option, it mentions CCDP, which is, this is private, but it says that LDP is a private protocol, which is incorrect. LDP is public, not a private protocol. Then, the second option says that LDP is enabled in global mode, and this is correct. Then, option C says that LDP has a fixed update frequency, but it actually doesn't require updates. Interaction doesn't require isolation, so this is incorrect. For example, right now I am A, and through this RDP protocol, I discover B, right? At the same time, B also discovers me, but there's no actual interaction between users just discovering each other as neighbors, right? So actually, it also periodically discovers its neighboring devices over time. But regarding the update frequency, when it says it's a fixed, unchanging value, that's actually not correct at all, just to clarify. Then, about option D, option D says it operates at a transport layer. Which layer is the transport layer? It's layer 4. But in reality, this thing operates at layer 2, right? So this option is also incorrect. So the correct answer should be B. Alright, let's look at the correct answer. Okay, choose B. Question 4. For question 4 is about the wireless controller. It asks, what is the function of this wireless controller? Function, let's look at the options below. The first option says register to the access point, but that's not the function of the controller. In other words, registering to the access point, well, the controller doesn't really have anything to do with the traffic between wired and wireless endpoints at the access point. So this option is incorrect. Then the second option says it uses SSID to distinguish between wireless clients, but that's also not its main function, so we don't choose this one either. Then the third one is about sending L-web packets to the access point, which is somewhat related, so the correct answer should be C. Let's look at option D, which says it monitors wireless and wire LAN activities. But that's not really related to monitoring, so this option is incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Okay, question 5. Question 5. The question is asking which specific technology is capable of improving the performance of external network traffic by making use of proxy caching. Proxy caching is a method where frequently accessed data is stored closer to the user, reducing load times and bandwidth usage. Now, let's begin by examining option A in detail. What exactly is option A? In this case, option A refers to external security, which generally involves protecting systems and data from threats that originate outside the network. These are the abbreviations of the three terms, namely, and this particular device is Cisco's dedicated external security proxy, which is specifically used to optimize and manage external network traffic flows. So the correct answer is A. As for the other options below, this one is Cisco's next generation firewall, whose main functions are threat defense and traffic inspection. Then ASA, which is option C, is Cisco's traditional firewall, right? It is also used for access control and basic security functions for VPNs. And finally, this one is a platform, a management platform, which is used for event monitoring. So these options are all incorrect. The correct answer is A. Let's select A as the correct answer and submit. If you want to learn Cisco technologies or get access to Cisco question banks, please send me a private message, or you can leave a comment below the video for technical discussions.